U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is facing intense scrutiny after reports claimed he personally intervened in a Navy promotion process, triggering a fresh controversy inside America's military establishment. The allegations have sparked a wider debate about diversity, meritocracy, and military leadership, with critics questioning what the reported decisions could mean for the image of what is often described as the world's most powerful armed force. At the center of the controversy is a promotion list from which 9 Navy officers were reportedly removed, raising questions about how and why those names were ultimately excluded from consideration. The developments have also drawn attention because they come at a time when the U.S. military continues to face multiple global security challenges, placing additional focus on leadership decisions at the Pentagon. As the United States continues to navigate tensions with Iran and multiple global security challenges, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is facing growing scrutiny over a controversial intervention in a senior Navy promotion process. According to reports, Hegseth removed 9 Navy officers from a promotion list last month, a move that has triggered debate inside military and political circles about how senior officers are selected for advancement. The controversy deepened after reports claimed that 3 women and 2 black officers were among those removed from consideration for promotion to the rank of 1-star admiral. The New York Times reported that Hegseth's changes ultimately resulted in an all-male promotion slate, dramatically altering the composition of the group under consideration. According to the report, the revised list became an overwhelmingly white and male group of 22 nominees, raising fresh questions about the criteria used in the final selection process. The officers on the list were being considered for promotion to become 1-star admirals in the U.S. Navy, making the changes particularly significant given the seniority of the positions involved. Critics have pointed to the reported intervention as a departure from long-standing military promotion practices, with the New York Times describing it as a challenge to norms designed to keep promotion decisions merit-based and apolitical. Navy officials cited in reports said that Hegseth did not provide a clear explanation for why the officers were removed from the promotion slate. One source further alleged that the Defense Secretary personally reviewed the list and made changes before the nominations moved forward. The episode is now being viewed by some critics as part of a broader effort by the Trump administration to roll back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives within the U.S. military. The Pentagon has strongly rejected allegations that race or gender played any role in the promotion decisions, insisting that advancement is based solely on merit and professional qualifications. Meanwhile, a separate investigation by The Guardian reported that roughly 60% of senior officers affected by personnel decisions linked to Hegseth were women or black service members, adding further fuel to an already heated debate. Donald Trump reportedly told senior aides he would end the ceasefire only if Iran was responsible for killing U.S. troops. Trump privately indicated that the death of U.S. personnel could trigger a return to direct military action. The position suggested he was prepared to tolerate limited clashes rather than risk a broader regional escalation. The latest tensions followed some of the most intense exchanges of fire since the truce first took effect. U.S. officials told the Wall Street Journal that repeated Iranian attacks had significantly increased pressure on Trump. Officials also warned the attacks had raised fresh concerns about the long-term survival of the ceasefire. The Wall Street Journal reported that Trump continued to believe an agreement with Tehran remained achievable despite tensions. However, the report said Trump showed little urgency to finalize a comprehensive agreement with Tehran. Trump told the Wall Street Journal it remained possible the U.S. blockade of Iran could continue until Labor Day. The administration was reportedly working on a 60-day framework to guide future negotiations with Iran. The Wall Street Journal said Trump rejected Iran's latest offer and demanded additional concessions from Tehran. He reportedly insisted Iran must make significant concessions before receiving any sanctions relief. Iran maintained that nuclear negotiations could advance only after meaningful financial relief was provided. Tehran continued to seek access to frozen assets as part of any future understanding with Washington.
This is, as you probably have been watching, so from 1922 to present, it really never worked because we took a strong action for a different reason. So they were reciprocating it.
Mr. President, can you explain why?
The negotiation itself has gone very well, actually. Very well.
Mr. President,
it could happen. I mean, if it happens, and it might not happen, who knows? But if it happens, it could happen like over the weekend. But as it stands now, we will go in sometime in the not too distant future. It's very safe down there. We have, with Space Force, we have cameras Every angle of those 3 sites are being watched at all times. If anybody went there, we'll see exactly what's happening, and we'll blow it up a little bit further. But as far as getting it, the B-2 bombers did a job like nobody's ever seen. In the night, with no moon, dead darkness, at 1 o'clock in the morning or so, they dropped those bombs, the biggest, just about as big a bomb as you can ever find, and it went down air chutes. It was hard to believe that they can do the technology. It followed a beam right into the air chutes, exploded. Very hard to get that material, but I still nevertheless want it. And I don't want to do it if we're in conflict. I don't want to put men in that kind of danger. I remember Jimmy Carter had some bad problems in Iran with the hostages. I don't want to ever put our people in that kind of danger. But when it's over, as of this moment, it's agreed that we will go in with them, we will get it, and we will destroy it. It will be destroyed.
The Iranian Navy says that on June 3rd it targeted the command and control systems aboard a U.S. destroyer, striking at what it describes as the ship's brain in Gulf waters. Tehran insists the strike was a direct response to what it calls aggressive U.S. measures against Iranian commercial shipping, accusing Washington of harassment at sea. This development was announced in an official statement issued by Iran's Army Public Relations Office, giving the claim the stamp of formal military approval. According to that statement, the U.S. destroyer was attempting to enter Iranian waters, a move Tehran frames as a clear violation of its sovereignty and red lines. However, U.S. Central Command has flatly denied Iran's account, rejecting the claim that any U.S. Navy destroyer was hit or successfully targeted. CENTCOM went so far as to say Iran is lying, insisting that American assets at sea are operating freely and without damage despite Tehran's statements. Iran's statement said, and I quote, "A few hours ago, following aggressive actions, violations of the regulations governing the Strait of Hormuz, and hostile acts against Iranian commercial vessels in the Sea of Oman, by the terrorist and aggressive U.S. military, the Navy, immediately upon detecting and identifying the source of those actions, targeted the command and control center responsible for them." End quote. Meanwhile, eyewitnesses inside Iran reported hearing the sounds of explosions and active air defenses, according to Iran International, suggesting something significant was unfolding in the skies. Residents in eastern Tehran described the distinct thud of air defense fire and then a single, loud explosion around 8:45 p.m., sending people rushing to their windows and balconies. Similar air defense sounds were reported from Karaj and Urmia, while blasts were heard near Bojnord Airport, pointing to a wider pattern of aerial activity across multiple Iranian cities. Iran stressed that its navy is closely monitoring what it calls a criminal and aggressive enemy presence, keeping constant watch on U.S. movements in the region. The statement warns that the Navy will respond to any hostile act in the shortest possible time, signaling readiness for rapid retaliation if it feels provoked. Tehran further vowed that its forces will exact revenge in the harshest manner for the blood of the sailors of the destroyer Dina, framing its actions as avenging fallen martyrs. This latest claimed attack comes after both Tehran and Washington exchanged fire under the shadow of a fragile ceasefire, raising fears that the truce is rapidly unraveling in the Gulf. At least one person has been killed in the devastating aftermath of Iran's deadly strikes on Kuwait. Kuwaiti authorities also alleged that multiple people sustained injuries following Iran's drone attacks. With the international airport suffering significant damage, Kuwait has suspended all commercial flight operations. Airport operations in Kuwait are reportedly expected to remain halted until further notice from authorities. The airport had only reopened for normal operations on June 1st before the strikes took place. Kuwait's Ministry of Defense confirmed that Iran launched multiple hostile drones during its June 3rd attack. According to Kuwait's Ministry of Defense, Iran fired 13 ballistic missiles and 17 drones during the assault.